Kelly Bray,
Present.
John Lillywhite, Mayor Costa.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. You were sent copies of the Monday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, meeting minutes. Are there any comments, additions, or corrections?
No.
I would entertain a motion regarding the minutes.
I'll move to accept the minutes from the 14th.
I would second.
A motion made and seconded to approve the minutes from February 14th as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed no. Motion carries. This evening I would like to ask Chief Richards to do a traffic study for us. We're going to be looking at taking some of the streets back like they used to be prior to the Gary Oaks tearing the streets all up and having his way.
Bus went right over it. All the wheels.
And so, but one of the things I want to look at, I know Kelly, back in 20, I think we took away some parking spaces there on Sycamore. I'd like to look at the possibility of making Sycamore and Morgan a four-way stop, and then we can put some spaces back on there. If you look at the traffic pattern going east, you have a traffic pattern change right there, because from east, from Sycamore all the way out to Morgan Street, you have a center turn lane. So I'd like to ask the chief to do a study on that and see if it would be feasible to put a stop, make that a four-way stop, since there's a direction change, and then we can put back a couple of spaces.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to ask him to do that. And also, I just want to let the Board of Works know that Duke Energy has informed us that they're going to be doing a remediation up on their property at Highland and Mulberry in the next couple of weeks. You got information in your packet regarding that. So at this time, you know everything that we know about it. And if you have any questions, there are some phone numbers there for you to call. Moving on into new business, Mr. Porter, you have some street closings that you want to bring before us?
Good evening, Board. The first street closing application before you this evening is for the annual summer concert series. This year, because of the construction underway for the performance venue, the request is being made to close Jefferson Street between Morgan and Washington Streets on the 5 Thursday afternoon evenings, and the specific dates are in the application. The request is to have the street closed at 12 noon and reopen at 10 p.m. each of those dates. No parking on Jefferson Street would need to be in effect from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. on each of those dates. There is a representative present if you have questions.
Any questions for Mr. Porter?
No.
And I know earlier last fall, we had talked with Coach Helms in regards to the summer concert and what they could do. And he did go around to the area businesses and talk to them about closing off Jefferson Street if they would be opposed to that. So we have had connections.
I think they're primarily in favor of it, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, I think it's great. I would motion that we accept that.
I'll second it.
A motion made and seconded to accept the street application closing for the summer concert series. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed no. Motion carries.
The traditional Memorial Day program will take place on the actual Memorial Day, which is Monday, May the 30th. This year, the actual recognized holiday is also, so the county and city offices will be closed on that same day. Sometimes with Memorial Day, it shifts often what the county and city holiday is, which is that Monday, but this year it coincides. The program will take place at Veterans Memorial Park at the corner of Washington and Jefferson, beginning at 11 a.m. The request is to close Washington Street at the alley there by Super Sports, or the entryway into the courthouse square, to the alley at the drive-through right there by BMO Harris Bank, and in Jefferson Street at Washington, and to the alley here by City Hall. No parking would be requested in those areas from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. on the 30th.
Any Questions from Mr. Porter? Entertain a motion regarding the closures.
I'll make that motion.
Seconded.
And a motion made and seconded to okay the street closing for the Memorial Day program. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
We have a request for closures of streets associated with the annual 4th of July parade. And again, it will be on Monday, July the 4th, which is also the recognized holiday. The parade will take place in its traditional route starting at 10 a.m. from John R. Wooden Middle School, traveling north on Sycamore Street to Washington, west on Washington to Jefferson, and south on Jefferson Street back to John Wooden Middle School. The request is for the parade route and all street closings, crossing streets to be closed. And no parking would be in effect from 8 a.m. until about 11:30 a.m. And a representative is present if you have questions.
Questions?
Entertain a motion regarding the 4th of July parade.
I'll make a motion.
I would so second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the 4th of July parade street closures. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
The final request this evening is for the annual Veterans Day program, which will take place on the actual Veterans Day, which is Friday, November the 11th. The program will take place on the southwest corner of the courthouse square, beginning at 11 a.m. The request is to close Washington Street from Main Street to the alley there at Super Sports. And additionally, no parking would be requested on that stretch of Washington Street from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m.
Any questions in regards to this closing? I will entertain a motion on the Veterans Day.
I'll make a motion that we
I would second.
The motion made and seconded to approve the Veterans Day street closures. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, no. Motion carries.
Those are all the closures that we have tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Mr. Oates?
Walking better. Good evening. This evening, we have from Fritz Engineering a proposal to do the final reviews on the Hannah Farms property. We have a conflict of interest. Troy Swan works for HWC. They have done the original plans and the engineering for the project, so we need to go outside of HWC so that we do not have a conflict of interest. This is a per hour fee of $150 an hour. Troy's a little more expensive than that, so I think we're getting bargain here. Yeah. So I've asked for your approval. I estimate we're probably talking about $5,000 total.
Any questions for Mr. Oates?
It's just money, right?
We're printing it up really quick now in the basement, so not a problem.
We got him on a short leash now.
I would entertain a motion in regards to the engineering fees.
I would make that motion.
I'll second it.
A motion made and seconded to approve the engineering fees for Fritz Engineering. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
Thank you.
Mr. Coffey is going to talk to us in regards to the next two items, the loading zone at 156 East Morgan, and then putting Mulberry Street back to 2 what?
There's a request at 156 East Morgan Street to create a loading zone so that that business can load and or unload merchandise that is sold by the business. So the request would be to create a zone there in front of the business on Morgan Street, 15-minute loading zone time limit.
Is that a spot that we've taken a parking spot away from, or is?
I don't know the answer.
It's kind of a messed up area. We took the parking farther closer to Sycamore Street. And this is where JK's car dealership was, so there's a couple of cut-ins for going into the garage area that you really couldn't park on. And then you get really close to the alley. There's possibly park a small car there, but that had been painted no parking also. So it's kind of not a normal
What business is this?
A to Z auction.
I looked at that today on the way here, and I thought it said 160, that's why I was confused. Like, it is a busy option that wants it. I can understand why they need it.
Is there a reason why we couldn't put it around the corner? Like, isn't that where a lot of people already do a lot of loading, and that would keep them off of Morgan Street? On, what is it, the Sycamore there, or not?
Sycamore.
It seems to me like that would make more sense and keep them out of the main traffic. Although I guess most of their business is done at night when there's less traffic.
No, I think they do it in the traffic no matter what. I mean,
Well, that's,
constantly loading and unloading there, so what they're essentially asking for is for the cars to be there only 15 minutes while others are pulling up and unloading, right?
I'm not sure that I have a strong opinion on it. I would just think it would make more sense to try and move large objects and loading and unloading away from traffic as opposed to out on the main thoroughfare. But
Is the spot that they're running east or west of that alley?
East.
And when we add parking spots back with the chief looking at that four-way stop there, will we be adding to the north side of Morgan Street there? Will we be adding parking spots to the north side of Morgan Street or to the south side of Morgan Street?
It depends on how the traffic flows go through there. When Mr. Dunn and I went to a meeting with the state, they were looking at leaving no parking on the south side. But if we really want to take things back like they used to be, we would have parking both on the north and south. And if you make that a four-way stop at Sycamore, then you could add 2 spaces to the north and 2 spaces to the south. Let me ask you this, I don't think Mr. Ricketts is in a huge hurry, and Chief Richards knows we're looking at this. Do you want to table this to the next meeting so you can actually go down and look at it maybe a little closer?
is there an opinion?
Right, I would like the police officer's opinions. I mean, I know that those spots right in front, the spots just east of the spot they're asking for were spots, and then those spots were taken away. I know because I parked there and then I got in trouble. So, I would like their opinion.
Please.
Well, I was very honest. I would like when you're doing the traffic study, is that something that you can look at? And I understand why they want it, and if it's just a 15-minute, constantly keep moving. You all think it's a problem that people are unloading large items there to take into the auction house. I mean, I think they're doing it anyway.
I'd say there have been times when I've driven by and somebody was loading some ungodly giant thing, and I was like, if you hit my car, I'm gonna be very upset as I'm driving by. Again, I understand. I mean, people, it's a business. I think it's great that they're a business. I don't have any problem with their business. Part of that business is selling products that people have to load.
I'll let the officers take a look at the parking situation over there as well. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll ask this, get us some information by the first meeting in March then.
Thank you.
Mr. Coffey?
I would make that motion that we address this after we have input from the police chief.
I'll second it.
A motion made and seconded to table this item until we have further information from the police chief. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Mr. Coffey, Mulberry Street.
The item D on your agenda is consideration of reverting Mulberry Street back to two-way traffic. As you recall, when I-6937 was shut down, all traffic came through town. Mulberry Street was taken one way going south on from Morgan Street, and then one way going north from Morgan. So the request now is to go back to the two-way traffic flow.
Unless there's an objection from any interested party, I'm usually in favor of it, because every time I drive over there, I almost go the wrong way. I don't go the wrong way, for the record, but I almost.
So you're
Want to admit it.
All parked in the wrong spot.
And,
Not that bad.
and for the record, I do not go the wrong way. I have almost a number of times.
I would entertain a motion regarding Mulberry Street.
I would make that motion.
Second it.
So there's a motion made and seconded to put Mulberry Street back like it used to be, two-way, both ways, on both north and south. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
How soon do you want that done?
Did it yesterday?
Before the next time I drive over there would be great.
It's warmed up so the paint will stay.
As soon as possible.
Yep.
Sewer adjustments tonight, 439 Prather Drive, $989.76. 930, 940 East Washington Street, $335.54. 1160 East Morgan Street, $291.64. 1209 East Harrison Street, $28.15. 369 East Cunningham Street, $633.95. 216 Mahalasville Road, apartment number 410, $2,112.38. 40 Byram Boulevard, $75.45. You received the information in regards to these in their packets. Are there any questions?
No.
I would entertain a motion in regards to the sewer adjustments.
Motion that we okay these and
I'll second.
The motion made and seconded to approve the sewer adjustments as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, no. Motion carries. The next regular meeting for the Board of Works and Safety will be on Monday, March 14th, 2022, 6:30 here in the council chambers. If no further business, we are adjourned.